Hey guys, welcome back to New World Carpentry Solutions. And in this video, we had a few adversities that kind of affected the filming process, but I get to do a really clear voiceover because I recently picked up some new mics. So I get to try to explain this process. I definitely wish I got better footage throughout it, but in this video series, what we're going to be doing is actually transforming these old decking boards into some custom planters. These are going to be within the standard sizes. I believe people typically make them about 18 inches wide and anywhere from 36 to about 6 foot, in length. And then they typically are about 31 inches off of the ground. So what I'm doing, I don't really have a set of plans or something that I'm actually working from. I'm just going to kind of plan all these boards down and kind of see what material I have and see what I can transform this stuff into. I didn't really have the sizes when I was initially going through the milling process. I just knew I had a bunch of old deck boards from when we ripped the deck apart. But let's start the process of transforming that stuff into these. First step though, I want to show you guys everything that you're going to need to actually finish this project. You're going to need a couple nailers, either an 18 gauge or a 15 gauge. I prefer the 15 just because one, these are actually decking boards instead of fence pickets. So they are, because how thick they are, I would rather have a 15 gauge nail holding everything together. And I make sure that all my fasteners are either stainless steel or exterior rated. But as far as my nails, I went and got stainless steel just to make sure that I know that these are never going to rot out. Because these, depending if they line the insides or how they take care of their planters, they will be subjected to a decent amount of water and moisture. So I definitely want to make sure that my fasteners are going to rot out throughout that process. But you'll need a tape measure, square, pencils, and then a couple different drills. Well, really just a drill and a couple bits. You don't really need a pre-drill for this process, but I am going to be using GRK cabinet screws. These are exterior rated and also rated for treated lumber. So these are going to be the fasteners that I use to kind of fasten everything from the inside while the nails hold up on the outside. I'm also going to be able to use glue. So these are all pretty much old deck boards. So they've already been dry for they've been outside for probably 15, 20 years. So after them being outside and dry, then I pulled them up and had them in the shed for probably about a year and a half. And after all the milling process, I'm able to use glue, and that's going to make these really strong planters. Between the thickness of the boards, the fasteners that I'm going to use, and the ability to use glue. Most people make them directly out of, again, fence pickets. So they're wet, so glue is not one of the things that you can use during the construction of the project, unless you take them all and let them dry before you go through the process. So this is going to start over here on the planer. After we get everything milled down, then we're going to hop over to the table saw and the miter saw. We're going to use several different stop blocks. So once I get this kind of going and I figure out what material I actually have, I'm able to come up with a solid plan for what I can make. I start off with a small batch of boards and kind of build one planer, and then I kind of snowballs from there. So here's a good close-up of all the boards, kind of what they look like after we have all the nails and stuff removed. You see how rough they are. Some of them are gnarly. I'm going to cut out those really bad sections, maybe make smaller rips out of them. Again, I'm trying to utilize the boards as best as I can. I see some of them that have like splits going down the middle. So we're going to do a good inspection of all the boards before we get going. And then that stack over there is something I started plating before I actually, showed you guys or even, started filming. Because again, my camera stand broke in this process. So my camera stand and my mics, they all went out. So this was a little bit rough to film, but thank God, I wanted to make sure I got some footage of it. But the first thing I'm going to do is run it through the planer. You guys can see how the planer knives actually transform that, dirty looking board to practically brand new, minus the nail holes that are already in there. You couldn't really tell that these boards are old, minus the slight weathering or cracks that are still left in it, but I think that gives it character and makes them look rustic. I could have actually applied a stain or something like that just to make these pop a lot more. They're pretty much unfinished at this point, but I did already sell, I believe, 10 of these. So these make a great project, especially during the spring and summertime. Early spring, if you catch it before the planting season, you definitely can make a lot of these and make a decent profit off of them. They're going from anywhere, in my area, from $100 to maybe $130 for the larger ones. Smaller planters anywhere from like $35 to $60. If you guys don't have to go through this planting process and you're just using fence pickets, the process is a lot easier on you because you don't have to go through this whole milling process. But I think this product is going to be better because of the glue, the fasteners, and the thickness of all the boards. But if you guys are done watching me mill stuff, make sure you check out the next video when we get into cutting everything to length and getting everything processed so we can actually go into the assembly. But if you guys have enjoyed, let me know down in the comments, leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.